Hey everyone, I'm Jordan Spivey, joined with my dad,
Travis Spivey, and if you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on any of our awesome science videos. Also, scan the QR code at the top left corner of the screen to contact us and explore more of our awesome content and material.
In today's video, we will go over niches and community interactions.
So let's do this. Our learning targets for today are: number 1, I can define niche, and number 2, I can describe the role competition, predation, herbivory, keystone species, and symbiotic relationships play in shaping communities and nature. Let's start off by talking about a species niche. Every species of organism has its own tolerance or a reasonable amount of conditions under which they can grow and reproduce. A species' level of tolerance determines its habitat or where it lives. A niche consists of all of the physical and biological conditions in which a species lives and the way the species gets what it needs to survive and reproduce. We often like to think of a niche as an organism's job or purpose. Think about what your parents' job is. This is how they are able to provide to help you and themselves survive. This would be considered your parents' niche. An organism's niche must contain all the resources an organism needs to survive. A resource is anything needed to survive, like water, nutrients, light, food, or space. Think about where you stay. How is the temperature? What about your ability to get access to food and water? Are you comfortable or capable of attaining resources to keep you alive? More times than not, the answer is yes, and that's why you stay in this habitat. Quick question: what would happen if an organism does not fulfill its niche in life?
Now that we've talked about niches and species' ability to survive, let's talk about competition. Competition occurs when organisms try to use the same limited resources. When two species compete for the same resource, it usually ends with one species dying and becoming extinct. This is known as the competitive exclusion principle. This principle states that no two species can occupy exactly the same niche or job in exactly the same habitat at the same time. One species is going to survive and thrive, the other species will die out. Overall, competition helps to determine the number and type of species in a community. This is another example of the term survival of the fittest.
Let's take a look at the top 3 interactions that help shape the amount of and types of organisms in a community, which are predation, herbivory, and keystone species. Predation occurs when one organism, the predator, captures and eats another organism, the prey. Let's use a common example of predation with lions and zebras in the tropical savanna. Lions are the predators and zebras are the prey. Since lions hunt zebras for food, the population of zebras can only grow so large in the savanna. Predators help keep prey populations in check and keep them from overgrazing on grass that other organisms would need to eat to survive. The zebras practice herbivory, which is an interaction that occurs when an animal, the herbivore, feeds on producers such as plants and trees. Zebras and other organisms such as gazelles feed on producers to help them survive. The problem is that if there are too many herbivore organisms in a community, then they will overgraze on the grass, which would cause a bottom-up trophic cascade that will kill off many of the organisms that depend on the grass or animals that depend on the animals that eat the grass for food resources.
That brings us to our next topic, which is keystone species. Keystone species are organisms that help bring order and balance to communities and ecosystems. Removing a keystone species often results in dramatic and catastrophic changes in the structure of a community. Quick question: what do you think would happen if lions were removed from a community? How would this impact all other organisms in that area?
Our final topic is the 3 types of symbiotic relationships, which are mutualism, parasitism, and commensalism. In mutualism, both species benefit from the relationship. A good example of this is bees and flowers. When bees land in a flower, they get some pollen on their hairy bodies, and when they land in the next flower, some of the pollen from the first one rubs off, pollinating the plant. This benefits the plants. In this mutualistic relationship, the bees get to eat and the flowering plants get to reproduce. Mutualism reminds me of a successful relationship or marriage where both people equally benefit. But anyway, let's stay on topic.
Our next symbiotic relationship is parasitism. A parasitic relationship is one in which one organism, the parasite, lives off of another organism, the host, harming it and possibly causing death. Let's talk about ticks. Ticks are blood-sucking parasites that attach themselves to animals and people. Once attached to a host, ticks feed ferociously. As they feed, ticks can transmit a large number of diseases including Rocky Mountain spotted fever, Q fever, and Lyme disease. I like to think about parasitism as that one relative or person you know that likes to feed off of everyone else but doesn't contribute anything to help out. Keep those people out of your life. They are parasites and only will bring you down.
Our last symbiotic relationship is commensalism. In commensalism, one species benefits and the other is neither help nor harm. The simplest example of commensalism is a bird making a nest in a tree. The tree provides shelter and protection to the bird without getting significantly harmed or affected by the bird. Another typical example is the cattle egrets birds that feed upon the insects stirred up by the feeding cattle. In both examples, one organism benefits and the other organism is neither hurt nor harmed. Quick check for understanding. Take about 3 minutes to think, pair, and share with a partner your own examples of mutualism, commensalism, and parasitism from nature or from school-appropriate real-world experiences.
And that's our video for today. Now let's test your knowledge to see how proficient you are with describing niches and the role competition, predation, herbivory, keystone species, and symbiotic relationship play in shaping communities and nature by taking our video quiz.
Use your electronic device to scan the QR code at the top right of the screen, or you can click the link in the description box below the video to take the quiz.
Remember, 80% are higher for proficiency. Record your associate proficiency sheet, and if you don't get it the first time,
you better keep going because it's not over until you win. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and click that bell icon, and also scan this QR code to contact us and explore more of our awesome content and material. Peace and have a positive, productive day.
What happened to your clothes?
Oh. Would you believe me if I told you I was sent here from the future?
You're from the future.
No. Because of these.